Hey everyone, it's Maureen Hancock, and here is another lesson in intuition nutrition. So, this is how I wake up in the morning. Last night's makeup, ran my son to school, I get back home, and I want to talk about gut health today. So, I have a lot of problems in my gut, and I feel like stress is the culprit, and diet choices, so food choices. So, I start my day with a detox drink. It's just water with organic lemon. Can you see that in there? And I do about 2 or 3 tablespoons of Bragg's organic apple cider vinegar. So that not only helps with my acid reflux, but it can bring pH balance to your system. You should be at about a 7. And when we get out of balance with the pH, you'll see just a lot of after effects for that. So warm water is best, or room temperature. When you have cold water, all your energy goes to heating up the water. So I know that I have bacterial overgrowth in my small intestine, which is SIBO, S-I-B-O, and you can read more about that if you Google it and look at some of the symptoms. Gut inflammation, you're bloated, sometimes constipation, diarrhea. It'll switch between that. And a lot of IBS sufferers probably have bacterial overgrowth in the small intestine or leaky gut syndrome. It's all the rage right now with gut health, and the mind-stomach connection, or the mind-gut connection, with anxiety, depression, chronic fatigue, IBS, even some Crohn's sufferers, and autoimmune disorders will be caused by that or activated. And you know, I'm not a doctor, so always consult your physician for any diagnosis or treatment. But I'll just tell you my story, because at 35 years old, I had severe stomach pain on the lower left side in the large intestine. I now know that. And I had a fever. I went to the hospital and I was having a diverticulitis attack. They couldn't diagnose me until I had the CAT scan, because they just thought at 35 they don't see many cases of diverticulitis, although nowadays they do because of stress. And it really was a super stressful time for me, and I've noticed several attacks after that point. It's always around the holidays for me. Every Christmas Eve, or I should change my thinking. In the past, around Christmas Eve, I would end up in the hospital every year because I try to help so many people and I can't say no, and that's just me, so I'm working on that. But I know for me, to avoid surgery and having to have that whole section of intestines removed, which I guess is probably half a football field, I'm told, I really need to heal the gut. And I bet watching this, many of you have experienced stomach problems, because really this is almost like the epicenter of everything, right in the gut. And I always talk about, using your gut instincts and trusting the gut and flexing the intuitive muscle, which is your gut. But if you don't have a healthy gut, you're going to have foggy thoughts, and you're going to be super tired and have chronic fatigue usually, and you can't get out of your own way. Food is medicine, people. I want you to keep a food journal. You know what's best for you and what works for your body and what doesn't work for your body. Some people can't have fermented products, like anything that's fermented, which includes, wine, even some pickle juice and vinegar and soy sauce and ketchup and things like that. So that actually will feed the yeast. Any sugar, feeding yeast. Dairy, feeding yeast. So, and I know that I have candida. I just know it. So go to a holistic practitioner if your regular MD isn't able to kind of help you with staying up on that kind of stuff. But SIBO, small intestine bacterial overgrowth, is usually diagnosed through a breath test and through a naturopath or a holistic doctor, even if you just have one appointment to find out if you have it. And there's different ways to treat it. Again, not a doctor. Consult with your doctor. I'll tell you what has worked for me or what is working for me. So I'm trying to avoid sugar. I know this is the root cause for me. I love like late night a cookie or chocolate or cereal or something. And I just feel like, oh, this is just going to calm me down. Well, now I'm trying meditation, just being quiet. 5 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever, just silent, shutting off all electronics, getting the phone away from me, Facebook, all these little addictions that we can't help but, you know, grab or go for or see what's going on in someone else's life, right? And some other things for me, I'll talk about healing the gut lining in my shake. So every morning I have a shake. Usually it is golden ratio through Busy Gold. And I love chocolate golden ratio because it's pea protein, so it doesn't bother my stomach. It has collagen and stomach enzymes. So if you can take stomach enzymes, so digestive enzymes really, and I put in my shake L-glutamine, so it's the letter L, dash glutamine, G-L-U-T-A-M-I-N-E, and that heals the gut lining, and allegedly it's supposed to help heal the holes in my intestines, which is diverticulosis. It's an itis when it turns into an infection and food has become trapped in the pockets and there's a little infection going on there, which can be really, really serious. My goal is to avoid surgery. I have to. So, yeah, when I woke up from my colonoscopy, and I may have already told you this, but you're very holy. And I'm like, yes, I pray a lot. And, but then I passed out when I got up. So I have low blood pressure. A lot of us sensitives have low blood pressure. We get cold all the time. That's usually an empath thing as well when you think outside of Western medicine. So gut lining, I'll drink chamomile tea, slippery elm bark, marshmallow root, really good for the stomach and calming things down, as well as licorice root. So I have some licorice root chewies that my friend Susie Falco gave me, who's a holistic practitioner. Susie, S-U-S-I-E, Falco, F-A-L-C-O. So you can Google her or Facebook her. She's amazing. And she does holistic health consultations. Love her. Now, if you're pregnant, you can't take these things, and always consult your doctor. But I also want to talk about the bacterial overgrowth. I'm working on this now. So I know I have candida. I know I have bacterial overgrowth. So there's no good bacteria in my stomach. So I can take all the probiotics I want. There's an army of bad bacteria in my belly. So when I take probiotics, which I love, and I have been taking them, and you've heard me talk about them, and I think it's really, really important for everyone to take probiotics if you have, the right sort of atmosphere already in there to work with your gut flora and fauna to help. For me, I have to get rid of this bacterial overgrowth because I just noticed taking the probiotics, I was getting like belly aches. And I'm like, what is happening? So there was probably like World War III in my intestines happening in there. So some things for bacterial overgrowth. Don't run out and get these. I really want you to have a consultation with either a holistic doctor, a naturopath, or your regular MD. They won't know about these supplements. They usually give you antibiotics to kill bacterial overgrowth. Not a fan, but if you need it, you need it, okay? Because I just don't want you to run into antibiotic resistance. So berberine. So from the GS root, Oregon grapefruit, barberry, oregano, thyme, and red sage. What I'm using personally is oregano oil. Oregano oil is a fantastic natural antibiotic. You got to be careful though. You know, a lot of people have allergies. So oregano oil works for me. I'm allergic to everything. I'm allergic to all antibiotics except for Flagyl and Cipro. So I'm not allergic to Cipro, which kills anthrax. Thank you. So, yeah, so these are some natural antibiotics. I used to take a lot of seaweed. So seaweed is great for just an anti-inflammatory and things like that. So you're looking for things that are going to quiet the gut, like the chamomile tea, natural things like that, licorice root, like I said. I also want to talk about stress, because I can do all these things and take all these things, but if I don't do something to reduce my stress, it's going to keep coming back. So for me, I'm going to try to eat a lot of warm cooked vegetables. Raw vegetables don't work well with my gut. And in Chinese medicine, the spleen can become dampened. And you'll notice like you might have like white moss on your tongue. Oh, I have that. It's like the moss overgrowth. You may notice in your urine it's foggy. That's kind of a sign of candida or bacteria. And also, if you treat it and you're still getting the symptoms, which, you know, I feel like I'm 5 months pregnant after every meal, and I cut out gluten. I thought that was going to make my belly flat, and it's really just the inflammation in my belly. So you could have a parasite. You could have pylori, and there might be other things going on in there that you have to address with your doctor. But you can try the natural stuff. And so I'm no dairy, no sugar. You're going to feed that sucker. And you should go on. You can look up the 21-day Candida detox. There's a lot of different things that you can look up and try. But I love the 21-day Candida detox to get it out of your system. And then I think there's a 40-day SIBO treatment where, you know, you're trying to stay away from the same things. It just seems like the similar culprits: dairy, sugar. I'll also stay away from red meat just because I'm not processing food correctly. Small intestine is assimilation, and in Chinese medicine, with the small intestine, and that's absolutely tying right into digestion. And if it's damp, and, you know, food is just sitting on top of food and you're just not digesting properly, that's where bacteria starts to grow. I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV. So try it out. Try different things for you that work for you. But if you're having constant inflammation, most are with stress, you're releasing cortisol and all these hormones that are causing it as well. And try doing the water with the lemon and the Bragg's apple cider vinegar. Stay away from gluten or grains, meaning anything with wheat. So any wheat product, that's pasta, bread, white bread, and they were great gluten alternatives. I've found them because I've had to do this for my son, and my mother was celiac. And keep a food journal, what works for you. You're going to notice that you're going to be clear-minded, that your intuitive hits are going to be like, bam. And even if you don't have the bacterial overgrowth, if you don't have candida, keeping the mind-gut connection going with a clear mind and a clear gut, you're going to start to notice your connections to spirit. Your intuitive hits are going to be stronger. Everything's going to increase, and you're just going to feel better for it. Your anxiety will decrease. Depression will decrease. I mean, food is medicine. I'll see you next time back here for Intuition Nutrition.